Noninkables. Hello and welcome to the Noninkables podcast. We are on episode number 30 of this season of the Noninkables podcast. I don't actually know how far we are in terms of the podcast in general. Probably like 50 or 60. No podcast episode last week. Sorry about that. It was our daughter's 3rd birthday, so we were doing a lot of birthday stuff. And also, I didn't really play that much Lorcana. The previous week, I think the only real playing we did play testing session with Gary and Amy, where they came over and we tested out a bunch of decks like green, blue, purple, blue, purple, amber, steel, green, steel. And then I tested a couple decks online. I tested red steel because I always test red steel and I feel like it's still not quite there yet. And then, although I did lose to red steel recently online, so I don't know, maybe that list is there or I just don't know how to pilot. Both are likely. And then this past week, we did do a testing session with Gary and Tyler, and which I think was like a little more serious. And by serious, I mean that we actually like printed proxies and stuff. So I normally put proxies on like sticker paper and they look like this, which is like not super high quality. Also, our printer was being weird and like wouldn't print yellow. So all the green cards were blue. And then I fixed it and look at them now. I use like shinier, like glossy. Won't be in focus. Glossy sticker paper. So they look a little bit better. And they're also actually green. Gosh, the struggle. And I had the great idea last time and it worked this time. I printed the enchanted cards proxies on holographic paper. And these look awesome. So I just printed on sticker paper. We cut it out and then we just sticker it onto like a bulk card. And that's how we test proxies until we can get the cards. I feel like we're getting a little bit more serious now that one, all the cards are announced, and also there's some competitions coming up. So I know this weekend we're playing in a couple seal tournaments for pre-release, and I think we're doing DVY on Friday and then probably Phantom on Sunday. Undecided yet about Saturday because I think the only 2 places doing them are Poke Recyclers and Games at Brentwood, both of which are a little bit far. And also, I switched my work schedule around a little bit so that I can be off later in the year. So I'm working Saturday night, so I don't know if I can make it to any, depending on when they start. And then today, I am playing at a tournament at Games of Concord. It is the new set, but you can use proxies, obviously, because now the cards are out. And whoever wins gets to win a box of Fabled. So it like Swiss into top 4. Hopefully it fires because it needs 7 people. Then yeah, trying to win more cards because we definitely need cards for the competitions coming up. Tyler is playing at Inc. next weekend. And then the weekend following that, me, Brian, and Gary are playing at PPG Pro Play Summit in Denver. Oh, it's officially announced now, so I can announce it. So me, Gary, and Brian are bounty players for Pro Play Summit in Denver. If you go to their website and go under Pro Play Summit Denver, and scroll down to bounty players, you will see our little pictures. And then there's going to be, I think if you click read more, you can read like profiles. I finally had a use for these like glamour photos I took in China. I took like a set where it was like a Mulan costume, basically. Like a legit Mulan, not like animated Mulan, like real life Mulan, I guess. And so I was like, ooh, this is perfect. So it's literally a picture of me. I'm standing like this. There's like a sword across my shoulders. I was like, this is a perfect picture for a bounty player. So happy to finally have a use for these silly glamour photos I took. But I think if you match into us when you play us in Denver, if you win, you can win packs is the whole thing about the bounty player. So we are doing that, which is very exciting. And what else? Pro Play Summit Denver is also announced today, going to be a CCQ. So basically a tournament that can qualify you for a spot in nationals. They did announce like a while ago on their Lorecast that they would be partnering with some big competitions to have different ways to qualify for nationals outside of DLC. So this is one of them. And I know that there are, I think not this coming weekend, the weekend following, there are a couple PPG Denver qualifiers that you can play in. So it wins you a round 1 bye, similar to what I got for Texas when I played at Gamelandia. There is one up in Sacramento and one down in Monterey that's close to us. And unfortunately, I'm working that weekend, so I can't go to either one. But I decided, you know what? I'll just do, I guess, really well on the Friday tournament so that I can win the 3 buys like Tyler did. So that's the plan, is just to do really good on the Friday of. So that is kind of like what's upcoming for us. And then, of course, we're practicing for Milwaukee and for set champs, since it's Maleficent this time, like a maybe playable card for once, which is very exciting. So that's what's been going on in terms of the kind of playing. Oh, I've been testing online more. I was playing best of 3, and the MMR on there right now is like kind of crazy. So I played 3 rounds and I won all 3, and my MMR was like 1800. So obviously I took a screenshot because it's never going to be that high, because I feel like I usually hover around like 13 to 1400, usually like 1300. So it's like, let me take a screenshot, because it's like when I get, it's like at tournaments where I like early on my tables, like table 1, I'm like, oh, let me take a picture at this table. That's how I felt. And so I took a picture of that. And then since then I have lost some. So I think my MMR right now is like hovering around like 1700. But I think the like leaderboard, the top person's like 2000 or something. So I don't know if they changed the scale or there's just not that many people playing, but it's pretty crazy to have that high of an MMR. So I have been practicing more online. I've been playing a lot of Blurple, just because like I feel like the ramp part is familiar from last set. And since there's no Be Prepared, there's no need for me to play red, because every time I played Blurple before, I was like, oh, I wish I had Be Prepared. But now nobody has Be Prepared. So I've always liked Amethyst because it draws a tons of cards, and I do like ramp. However, I did play against a Amber Steel aggro deck that was like the new Aurora into like Tiana, and it was just so fast. And I lost to it twice on the play. And I think one of the times I missed ramp, so that was kind of like a non-game. And then the other one, I don't even know. It was just bad. I lost. So I've been playing lots of Blurple. I'm also thinking about playing Purple Steel. But Purple Steel, I think, is a very fair deck. And I don't think my piloting skills are good enough to play like a very fair deck, because I will make a mistake and then I will lose because it's fair. I need an unfair deck with the advantage to me. That's what I want to play. So yeah. And then, of course, like I think Amber Steel is still really strong, especially like the aggressive version. So I also, it's like, I know that's what the kids are going to play because they have all those cards already. And so I have to at least be able to beat Amber Steel, or else like I would get beat by all the kids. So practicing some more, and I'm excited to play Sealed. Although I think opening cards for Sealed won't be as exciting, because you're going to be like, oh, those are all just like reprints. Outside of that, we got some new deck boxes. So I had ordered these deck boxes while at DVY Set Champs, since I didn't even make it to top 8. I did some shopping, and they are, shout out to Pixar John, one of our locals. He has like a really pretty blue one with pink flowers, which I also got, but I also got this one and like a blue and a gray one. But they are deck boxes, like slim deck boxes. So the inside looks like this, but it is magnetic. And so it does like transform into this. So you like put your deck in here, and then it like, and then it fits like much better into a bag. You don't have like this bulky bag. And of course, like I was like, well, I'm paying for shipping anyways, might as well get some other stuff. So I also got these 10, and they're just like a little bit extendable. So I feel like if it was like this, that's kind of like an awkward, because it doesn't rest really. And I have small hands, but that little extra little like inch helps it sit better in your hand. And I also did get refills for this. So I'm excited about these new deck boxes. I just have to practice opening and closing them, because if you're not careful, you can like open it and all your cards just fall at the bottom. And it came with instructions on like how to open this when it's on a table, how to open it when it's in your hand. So I'm very excited for these deck boxes. What else? I have been obviously foiling mats. I've slowed down in the number that I'm doing because I'm doing more complicated ones. And so actually today I'm going to meet up with JJ, who's going to give me some mats he wants foiled. I did work on my pricing for them. Shout out to Lord Conifran. I did work on my pricing for the mats. Shout out to Lord Conifran for kind of giving me a guideline, because I definitely don't want to be like, oh, I'm the cheapest one, and so people will buy from me and other people will not get purchases. But also, I'm also very good at undervaluing my own work and pricing them way below, and not even covering like the product, like the cost of the foil. And so she gave me kind of like a baseline. It's basically like a foil mat, and then there's like a premium version of the foil mat that has like more colors and it's like more intricate. And then I feel like the majority of my mat I would qualify as premium, and then I have like ultra premium. So for example, I'll show you. So like my Elsa mat, I made a couple more of these. So my first iteration had one color. I would consider that like a regular foil mat. This one has like 3 colors, and I feel like it's more intricate and layered. And so I consider this more of like a in between standard and premium, so probably premium, like a lower priced premium. And then I made these Hades. I did one Hades mat, and after I made it, I immediately wanted to redo it. So this would be considered like premium. So I like how Hades hair. So I did do some Hades mats, and then after I did them, I immediately was like, oh, I want to redo this one. So this would be what I would consider like a premium mat. So we've got Hades hair. I think that part looks really cool. I basically did the whole thing, and I did some of Hades highlights in blue, like on his skin, and I immediately was like, I should have done that in white. But his like this part with all the smoke and whatever, it has like 3 different colors. And then there's also a little bit of foiling on Megara. And there's, you can't really see, this is like opal-ish colored foil on his outfit. And then the dark blue is obviously foiled. And then there's like this little thing here that's foiled. So I made that one and immediately wanted to redo it. So I did. This is the new and improved version. It looks very similar. The greens are slightly different. I think in the smoky part, I foiled a little bit more of Meg's outfit than the other one. There's some like white foiling here. It's like a white opalescent, which I feel like doesn't really translate on camera. And it's the same on Hades' skin and his outfit. And so, yeah, this would be like a premium mat. And then let me show you some what I would consider. Oh, this would also probably be a premium mat. I did this one for Brian. It's his Ursula Set Champ Derp mat. So like this next part is foiled. The fish are foiled in like a matte foil. All the like ink caster things are foiled, and some of the stuff down here. The dysfunctional pass folder is foiled along with all the outline. It's like a black glitter. So this would also be like premium. And then let me show you the one I made for myself, which I would consider like ultra premium, super expensive. Probably will only do it for myself unless someone wants to pay me a lot of money. Like, I'm going to say like $300. This is my Gen Con mat from this year. Look at it. It's so pretty. And I probably will actually add a little bit more foiling to this. Try to shake it to show it off. So all of the ink colors are foiled, right? So we got steel, sapphire, we got ruby, emerald, amethyst, amber, right? And then there is some foiling on the bear. I'm going to eventually, I think, foil this water part too, because it seems like there's not that much foiling on this panel, and I want there to be more. On Bruni, there is this fire part. His eyes are actually foiled, so are the bear's eyes, with that like very discreet white opalescent foiling. And then there's some foiling down here, just to highlight. And then we've got honey lemon. And I've done a couple iterations, so I think I'm going to add some more foiling to her here. And then obviously there's foiling on all the beading and her outfit and the purse. And then there's Wreck-It Ralph. I'm trying to like figure out how to show this. Wreck-It Ralph, he has 2 colors of foiling, right? Am I lying? I'm lying. He has 1 color of foiling in his hair to highlight his hair. He's got foiling in his eyes and his teeth and some on his outfits. And then the queen, who I think looks phenomenal. Although she just threw off the balance because the queen and Kakamora are way more foiled than everyone else. So I'm going to add some more foiling to everyone else to balance it. But the queen's outfit, so she's got like this gold color on her crown and on her necklace, and then like a glittery gold for her outfit, and then some foiling on her lips. And then there's Kakamora, who has that like white foiling that you can't really tell on camera here. And then he's got some red here. And the brown of his coconut is foiled, and the pink. And then also his teeth part has some red foiling. And then I forgot to do it, so I need to add it. But the eyes are going to be like black foil. And it's not going to be like the glittery black foil that's on the Ursula mat. It's actually going to be, I got a new black that's like more just holographic black. So that's going to be added to the Kakamora foiling. So that is what the foiling I've been doing. And then in progress, I have a Diablo mat that looks like the Diablo Enchanted, because I got Brian that mat. And that one is going to be like blinged out. And then I bought 2 other mats on Etsy. One is of Esmeralda, like with fire behind her. And then one is of Merlin from the Visions card, Visions of the Future. And then I bought a K-pop Demon Hunters. It's not a play mat. It's more like a giant computer pad. So it would probably be like the size of like a double play mat. It's a K-pop Demon Hunters mat. So I'm also going to foil that. Although I would say the print quality is not super good on that mat. So I have to look at like reference photos / watch the movie over and over to see like exactly, because it's kind of like washed out on the mat, to see exactly like how to do it. So in the end, this is kind of where I came to on mat prices. So for example, like this Elsa, which I would consider like a premium minus or a standard plus mat, would cost you, I'm looking at my price right now, like $80 for me to foil your mat. If you want me to provide the mat, which I do have extras, it'd be like $105. And then for a mat like the Hades mat that I did, to foil your mat would be like $110. And then for me to foil a mat that I have for you would be like $135. I'm like trying to do math in my head. $135. So basically, for the majority of the mats, the like additional price for me to provide the mat is $35. Or sorry, $25. Unless it's a really hard mat to get. So like Belle or like Tinkerbell, I feel like those ones are kind of harder to get and so cost more. Winnie the Pooh would be another one. How far I'll go. So like kind of like the older mats that you can't get easily, those would cost you more than $25 if you want me to provide the mat. But like no more than like, I think $45 would be the highest, because the Bell mat is, I think, the most expensive. Obviously, if you want a Set Champs mat, you're going to have to get one of those on your own. You're going to have to win that yourself or buy them yourself, because I don't really have extras of those. And if I did, I would charge you full price for that. So whatever they're going for. But I do have in stock extras of like Donald Duck Buccaneer. So I made a Donald Duck Buccaneer of 4, right? That's like, there's just some gold and silver foiling that I would be called like standard foiling. And then I'm working on a design that has like more foiling and it's like more detail. And that would be like premium. So basically the categories are standard, which is usually like 1 to 2 colors, maybe. Yeah, it's like 1 to 2 colors, I would say. 1 to 2 colors for standard. And those are like anywhere between, I would say, $50 to $70. And then above that would be premium, which is like anywhere between $80 to $110. And the most expensive ones for that are like Hades, Rescuers, probably Belle. Those would be the most expensive ones. And then the next one would be like ultra premium. Oh, those are like the ones where I go crazy and design for myself, essentially. So like I'm doing a new design for Belle that is like way more detailed than the last one I did. And the last one I did is already pretty detailed. So that one will be more, I think, probably like 150, 160. It kind of depends on how many colors I end up using and how actually crazy it is, but it probably will be crazy. Ooh, I am going to start designing foiling for the new mats. So there's Bippity Boppity Boo, which will be $90, and then Mufasa, which will be $100. And the parts that will be foiled on there is like Bippity Boppity Boo, obviously like parts of her dress will be highlighted, and then all the like swirling white fairy dust, I think it is. And then also Mufasa will be like, obviously the blue flowers, I think, are just prime for foiling. And then also like some stuff on Mufasa, like lights and stuff. And so I will be working on that. And I will have some of those. I bought a couple. So you do not have to supply me with a mat for that if you wanted to pay for the build. So yeah, I think that is it for the mat part. I am still looking into how to ship these. Basically, I'm seeing other people ship mats to me, and it seems like they just like, if it's like a mat that is Lorcana, like an official mat, they just put the boxes in another box with a little bit of like that cardboard tissue paper stuff. And then if it's a mat that I order off of Etsy that they've like printed, it seems like they just saran wrap it and throw it into a bag. And it seems to be okay, but I don't know. I feel like with the foiling, I would want to protect it a little bit more than just saran wrap. I'm still looking into like how to price that part, but will probably be definitely available. Also, I will do custom orders. So if you have a mat that you had printed and you want me to foil, send me a message. I will be working on probably some for some people. That was so super vague. I have been queried about foiling mats for people, and I will give you like a price on what you want to foil. Also, if you want a Lorcana mat from me, just know that like unless you tell me to foil the words that say Lorcana on it, I usually just do the art because I don't want to draw attention to the words. I feel like the words are, I don't know, not the important part of the mat, so I always just end up foiling the art part, and that is my preference. So if you want the words foiled, let me know, because otherwise I probably won't foil them. So yeah, that is the update for this week. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. So pre-release coming up. Gonna foil some more mats. Practicing for PPG Denver, where we will be bounty players. Come say hi. And what else? Oh, I will bring Noninkables stickers if you want some of those to PPG. I think that's it. We're just gonna be playtesting a bunch more and trying to get those cards because everyone wants that Dumbo. Everyone wants the purple Dumbo, and it's a legendary, so it's going to be hard to get. So hopefully we can get those cards because I feel like it's going to be tough. They're in high demand. That is it for me. As always, keep shuffling. Hopefully you do well on all your pre-release competitions, and see you guys in Denver where I'm a bounty player. Also check out the website because I'm very proud of that picture. Bear in mind, I did take that picture at a glamour studio in China where they provided my clothes, did my makeup and hair, and also I think photoshopped me. I did ask for light Photoshop this time because previously they photoshopped me to the point where I was like very pale and had like mismatched colored face and legs because they photoshopped my face to be very pale but not my leg. So I had asked for light Photoshop that time. Like, don't give me plastic surgery Photoshop, but I'm sure they did a little whatever. But yeah, check out my picture. I'm very proud of it. Okay, that's it for Vein Q. Tune in next week, and I'll let you know how our sealed goes, how the competition today goes, and all that stuff. And I will probably have more foiled mats to show off. All right, that's it for me. Bye.